by Oscar Provençal, our favorite actor. Always going to have the name Inspector Bediako attached to his name, whether he likes it or not. It's not in his passport, though. And he's an environment advocate as well, and just our good friend here, Oscar Provençal. Good morning. And Kofi Kapito is the CEO for the Consumer Protection Agency. Gentlemen, good morning.
Morning, Kaf.
How are you?
Very well.
Very, very well.
By grace.
I'm going to start. You know, in Ghana, when they say when you want to greet culturally, you start from the right,
yes.
so that you do not end up backhanding people. So I'm going to start from the right, from the way people see you on the screen. With Oscar, what's on your mind this morning?
Oh, good grief. The kids, the students who went on riot. And
Krobia Asante,
yes.
Vocational Technical School.
Yes. I think the trend is becoming a bit too much these days, and it does not really portend well, considering that, as we normally say, they are our future leaders. And if destroying public property and the infrastructure of your school, which you depend on, you know, as a sign of protest, at that age, then this nation is in trouble. I think about 2 months ago, I was at the filling station opposite here, GBC here, the Total, and some students in uniform were chasing another set of students in different uniforms. They picked up stones at the bus stop where people were standing at the bus stop. There was traffic, and they were chasing these guys not only with stones but with metal bars.
Wow.
And they crossed over from the filling station to the other side. And all the protestation and shouting at them to stop yielded nothing. That's just here. What were they going to do with those stones and those metal bars if they had got those boys? And if this is the youth, our future leaders, that are going on and destroying public property, have no respect for life, then we're in big trouble as a nation. So I think that whether it is a parental issue, because I think most parents who hopefully have done a good job with their wards will not probably see them behaving or taking part in these things. So maybe we should look at issues regarding the parental guidance and the way we're parenting these days, and things like that. Let alone, I don't want to say it, but you come to university, I will mention the vandals, in quotes, so they don't like that to be tagged on them. But you come to that level. If you come into the political fray, what would be your mindset? If you enter the police or you enter the army or you enter, what would be your mindset? If this is the culture that you've developed and you're developing from these stages. So it's very worrying as far as I'm concerned. And as a country, we have to take a good look at it.
Okay, I'll give you an update on that. So 39 students of the Krobia Asante Vocational Institute at Efiduase arrested for their involvement in the violent demonstration at the school on Sunday have been remanded into police custody by the Sokore Mampon District Court. The students were made up of 27 juveniles and 12 adults. They reappeared before the court on February 2. They were arrested by the police during the violent demonstration in the school on Sunday dawn, which resulted in extensive damage to many school and private properties on campus. They've been charged with conspiracy to commit crime, unlawful entry, causing damage, and stealing. Their pleas were not taken. They were represented in court by a team of lawyers led by one Kwame Jemfi. So that is the latest on the issues of the children or the adults and juveniles involved in this. And you made a point about parental responsibility and taking care of the future, you know. And it just takes me back to something I posted on Sunday, you know, before I come to Kofi. So my children, never forget this. The evildoer is the destroyer of the nation. Reprimand your children and educate them in absolute righteousness, for the nation belongs to them. It's echoing what you're talking about. We are here only for today. By tomorrow we are gone. So set them on righteous ways, so the nation will grow in wisdom, love, and valor. An ornament is the obedient child to the parents in the nation. Diamond and ruby he is. He's also pearl and gold. For the treasure that is the beauty, pride, and glory of a nation is the knowledge foundation upon which it stands to construct its progress. It is the source of joy and happiness in this life that every citizen should acquire this knowledge and must try to live according to its laws. So, only so can he help the nation make sustainable progress. Therefore, let the unruly child mend his ways and let his life assume rightful ways. The debtor should stop hankering after the luxuries of life. Let the liar learn to love the truth. As for the thieves and the adulterers, they have no share in the treasures of the Anglo state. So these are the last words of Togbe Sri I, who was the first paramount chief, Awomefia, or political and spiritual leader of Anglo state, 1468 to 1504.
Wow.
And they were talking about these. This is the last words. And he ended saying that my nation and these unruly ones can never share one fortune except they decide to mend their lawless ways. Therefore, that child who would choose to remain unruly will certainly find his way to the fifth landing stage. Now, the fifth landing stage was where we executed criminals back in the day. It's located right behind Angloga police station. It is where you were buried up to your neck. Your head was above ground in the sand, and nature took its course. So if it was birds that came to peck your eyes out, that was our capital punishment, you know. And your parents could actually submit you to the authorities if you were misbehaving. Even an unruly child could be executed back in the day.
Wow.
Yes, back in the day, they had no tolerance for any misbehavior.
That's extreme.
Yeah. So, but this is how they police their issues. But I mean, the sentiments of the man could be a parent speaking right now, could be an old man speaking right now.
Absolutely.
You know.
I think the other day you had a gentleman on, and he gave some. He said that the girls should write.
Advantages and disadvantages of what they have done, and present it to the school.
But in instances like this, I think obviously there's a gravity and a weight to the issue, to the various issues that come up. These guys overturned cars, destroyed cars, went into the stores, stole the food, went to the house masters. What were they going to do there? So the violent intent that was clearly manifested cannot be treated on the same level.
No.
And there has to be a deterrent for this. That solution was a brilliant solution. I loved it.
Yes.
The submission was fantastic.
Professor Bruce, yes.
Fantastic. Yeah. But I don't think it can work in all instances, Okay. And so we as a nation, we should all be very, very concerned. And of course, yes, maybe the students are also feeding off and taking note from what we, the adults, are also doing in the public space.
Indeed.
All of us should be very, very concerned.
Let's protect the children. I'm going to bring in Kofi right now. What's on your mind, Kofi?
Look, first, let me say that what the students did is not acceptable
At all.
But what is the root cause for all this? You see, in Ghana, we talk about things without actually going to the source to find out. Look, when I was in school, actually when I left school, my school demonstrated. Demonstration in schools is nothing new, but to the level that you might do certain things extra. I mean, demonstrating is a form of protest. Okay, as long as it's not violent. And this time it was violent. So let's situate the two things here.
This was a violent protest.
Which is wrong.
Completely out of order.
I condemn it. But the question is, you see, we live in a country where, we haven't even heard from the kids as to why. Because it was only the school, I think some educational director from Ashanti region who was talking and saying that some of the things he said that the children were angry because
they felt the school was failing.
No, they say the prep. When they prep them for exams, they put the female and the male together, but they've been separated. So now they say they should be put together. I don't think you demonstrate over that.
They want the women to be close. The guys.
No, I don't think. You see, there's always a real cause for everything, but we don't find what the true cause is. Kafui, I am very, 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 maybe I'm the only Englishman in New York. The problem of Ghana, look, children are the future. So when you don't listen to children as to what bothers them, a child even tells the truth, he or she will be reprimanded. Akwaraboni, for speaking the truth. Meanwhile, the elderly person or the other person is the one doing wrong. The one causing the commotion. The one that is frustrating the kid. Why don't we look at adults and say, Masa, stop what you are doing? We don't do that because they say, oh, in our culture, young people are always guilty. So you need to apologize first. When my other brother has beaten me and I happen to bite him, and they will not ask as to what started it. They will tell me, we are currently paricho. Come on now. Let's be realistic. This is the bane of some of our issues in Ghana. Look, children has to be allowed to express the right way, not the wrong way as the students did. Like I said, if you look, demonstrations, protests, secondary schools, it has always been with us. But the level that you go and destroy property, that is a different era. You try to kill people or maim people, it's another level. Okay, but if you do the actual protest, actually it's part of life. It's expression. But the question is, why don't we look at the source, which is the adult? Look, have you seen this article about this bank, this CFO of a bank who actually took advantage of an intern?
So she claims.
Well, I mean, it's a fact. I mean,
He's gone to court now.
the guy bought her a car.
Well,
I'm just saying. I mean, he had the obvious. I'm just saying that.
Have you seen the car?
But that is what I mean. The same thing. You two haven't seen the school.
Alleged.
You two haven't seen the school.
He's gone to court.
I'm just saying.
We saw
But
the
in
school.
Ghana, the problem is, why do always the people in charge are not held accountable? That is the problem.
That's what
Time
she
has
wants to
come.
focus on.
Let's hold people accountable. Look, Trump got in trouble for hiding national security documents. Biden is in trouble. Now Pence, Trump's vice president, is also in trouble. Can that happen in Ghana? You say we look at them and say, oh, they are doing well. They are doing this. We don't want to change. And a time has come when a child and an adult has an issue. Let's listen to the adult.
the child.
If
The
the adult is wrong, let's tell the adult in his face, you are wrong. And always stop bullying the kids and telling them that apologize. You are the kid, you are this. I mean, for crying out loud, this is the only country that when a young girl, is raped, instead of us taking the young girl and counseling her, do you know what they were accused her for? Why did you wear that short dress to that man's room? That is what we tell the girl. Naughty girl, who told you to go to the man's room? The fact that I come to your room does not mean you have to rape me. Meanwhile, the other person will not be held responsible. And time has come. Look, if they say there's a language, there's a saying in my language, bre ama amaniaso ma.
What does it mean?
Apparently, there were two paramount chiefs, right? And one told them to the other one to bring his wife. And he said, if you don't bring my wife, your wife, my wife won't come. It's as simple as that. The question is, we are all humans. And guess what? This is the future, the younger people. They are the future. So if we don't allow them to understand that bullying is wrong, stealing is wrong, corruption is wrong. They said some boy was, now you go to the school and ask any child, what do you want to become when you grow up? He says a politician. Careful, why? The next one is a policeman. Why? Ghana, until we adults, and this is where I have a problem with it. Adults are the ones doing illegalities and wrong things. And the question is, the child will look at you. Do you know the best role model for any child is the parent? Because you live with the parent. And then maybe your teacher. These are the two role models. Okay, the question is, what are the adults doing? What example, as adults in Ghana, are showing to the kids? The kid is telling you, the food you are giving me is not correct. Please, change the food. You don't change the food. You don't change the food. Some of them would even get sick. So when they get sick, they would also gang up and say the only way is also demonstrate. But I don't condone them to be demonstrating to the level that they did. But the protest, singing, jubilating, beating their pants and stuff is allowed. Okay, going to block, maybe gather the housemasters or the headmasters or the headmistresses' house, it's fine. You don't break anything. But the question is, adults in Ghana, people are stealing. We don't even ask, how did he get the money? They say, oh, Papa will do with skinny. How do you become rich? You hear people talking about, well, they say it's in the, well, it's not even in court, it's a strike. This,
the cathedral?
Yeah, the cathedral thing. Why? That it has to take two pastors to ask for an audit. And then the other one, is it Doug Mills?
Doug Hayward started speaking last week. Yeah, about some irregularities.
But how long has it been going on? You know, these three pastors will be targeted as troublemakers in this culture when they want the right thing to be done. What is wrong asking the right question and demanding the right answers? Ghana, when you ask the right answer, you are in trouble. Even media men, any media person that asks a hard question is a troublemaker.
It's true.
It's the one that condone the nonsense are the ones who are praised in Ghana. That's a problem.
The prophet had a problem with me when I was asking him questions the other day.
But that is the problem. But that is the problem.
I saw
No, you don't like me, Kafu. You don't like
No,
me.
it's not. You're asking a simple question.
Exactly.
If I ask you, there's MTN had an advert where a kid, Minsako,
Nasika.
and the kid asks,
That's
Nesikano
the way. Where's the money?
Where's the money? Is there anything wrong in the kid asking that, where's the money?
Yeah.
But Ghana, they will beat you. Look, you send a little 3-4-year-old child to go to the corner store and go and buy blade for you to shave in the morning. Curiosity. They don't know what it is in the package. They open it on the way coming to you, and somehow they cut themselves and they are bleeding. You will knock his head. Instead of you explain, you shouldn't even send a kid
To buy
go and buy bleed.
dangerous implement.
Let alone beer and cigarettes.
And I'm here. My
Jot,
uncle, one of my uncles, when I was a kid, I used to drink beer with him. He would tell me, "Go to beer, bro." Now go. Then you give me. So
How young were you?
I don't even remember. I think I was that young.
You were under 18.
I think I was that. No, I was under 10. What me under 18?
You started early.
No, and then
Good
they said one day I was enjoying this so much
serious
that
conference.
I told my uncle, over, I did the intimate guy.
You told
It
him.
was. So
We can't stop.
we can't stop because it was so nice. When my mother died, when I was an adult, then he comes, I haven't seen him in years because I was outside Ghana. They say, where's Kofi? I say, Kofi beer, bruh. Then I told him, offer, I don't drink. He was shocked.
You started early.
No, I'm just saying that even as a teenager,
He couldn't believe it.
Even as a teenager, drink and smoke wasn't my thing. It wasn't my thing. I tasted it, but it's not my thing. This my uncle was so surprised that a small brother I used to drink with you. Now, as an adult, you are telling me you don't drink. Not because of any medical reasons. I just didn't like it. Okay, so this man that was sending me to go and buy the beer and was giving me some small shots. Me and him, who is bad?
Definitely him, man. He didn't.
They tell you to go and buy a stick of
Jot.
jot. They tell you on the way coming, light it up.
Oh, the people do that.
Oh, how?
Oh, the man doesn't have matches. Oh, boss,
So
I beg you. You when you open the lines.
So
He's buying jot, right? That's how much.
No, you have to. Oh, they would. Oh, master, you open the lines. You hear people. You say light it up. So the woman in the pot,
She will just put it
the whatever.
Coal pot.
So when you light, you puff at least 1 or 2 or 3
before you bring it to him.
before you bring it to him, because he has to stay lit.
Wow, things have happened.
The-
So
the-
the parental responsibility is 100%.
There's absolutely
That's
no,
the upshot of
absolutely
what you're
no,
saying.
no doubt
Yeah,
about it.
upshot.
And there are a lot of things that Kofi has mentioned that are at the heart and the fabric of our society. You know, yesterday we were talking about issues of corruption, but what's the definition of corruption? Being able to influence somebody over. We've got that in our traditions. When we go and see our
Acquiring
chiefs,
something that you can't afford.
when we go to see our chiefs, what do? We have to take an envelope. You take some schnapps. What are you giving envelope and schnapps for? It is to establish a relationship, not just only to honor. It is to establish a relationship so that in the future, Aleno, you can go ahead with your project or you can have intervention. So there are certain things traditional things that are happening in our society that if you say it's corruption today, it seems very normal to people. Kofi mentioned the issues of maybe rape or getting somebody pregnant. What do you do? In the past, what do you do? Before Dofsu and all those things came, what do you do?
But those who are here, and yes, we are still not doing what we're supposed to be doing correctly.
You go and bring some.
That school here, something. The owner of the school who got an underage girl impregnated.
The school in the Latabio Koshi area.
Somewhere like is it Lante Mills
Great
or
Lante
Mills.
Lante Mills.
Something like that.
At the end of the day, guess what they said? The parents said, "Oh, they don't want to push it because if the girl delivers and the man is in jail, nobody will take care of the little baby."
But we always thought the state is when you are under 18, the state is supposed to take care of
This
it.
is the thing.
Yeah.
But that is look, Ghana. Do you know how screwed up the lawyers? Do you know a 16-year-old girl with the permission of their parents can get married, but a 16-year-old boy cannot get married legally? It's okay because we the men, we like to take them young.
This is the first time I'm hearing it. So
You check.
I'll do the check. on
You
that.
check.
But you see, even though, now you mentioned the law, if you're going to look at issues regarding the law, when you have laws like if you have a property and you put in a caretaker, and if after 12 years you haven't gone to the property, the caretaker can claim ownership of the property. Isn't there something fundamentally wrong
It
with
never
that?
made sense to me, man. That adverse.
That you have a piece of land,
Yeah, which is
and
mine.
then somebody can come and build on the land, and then what?
It becomes his.
Now you have to go to court to get an order to have the thing bulldozed, or either he has to compensate you. I mean, we've created a society of lawlessness, and so we should look inwardly to ourselves.
All right.
Look, somebody. One thing that I don't understand that here, Ghana, and I'm not talking about this time. It's been like that for a long time. The president, the vice president, goes somewhere, and he says has given 5,000 cedis. Is this his personal money or is for the state?
They don't give 5,000. It's 50.
No, I'm trying to be moderate. I'm just saying that they give 5,000 cedis. They don't say the Republic of Ghana
It's a personal donation.
because he represents the people of Ghana. So when I come to you and I give you the money, it should reflect that the people of Ghana has given you their money. Because some of the monies that they are giving, I'm asking them, how much are they paid? That every function, you go and then give that money. Is it your pocket money? I know, you see, these are the kind of things that, look, if an American president, Obama who came to Ghana,
President Mills.
Clinton who came to Ghana, you know that's two that we gave him. Do you know it's at the museum?
It has to be declared.
It's not until he wants it to put it in his library or request that as for this one, I have some attachment to it. So can you allow me? He doesn't say, can you allow me to take it?
Yeah, gifts of a certain value.
I get my point. Here, the president, everybody, government officials goes to event and he says, I've given 50,000. I've given 100,000. Nobody asks, where's the money coming from? Can the president of Ghana afford to give 50,000 about 10 times in a year? How much is he being paid? And not people should not take me. It's not just this time. It's been like that for a long time.
Who knows?
Asking the hard questions here, Kofi Capito and Oscar Provençal. Kofi mentioned the National Cathedral, and for those of you who are not following, so two clergymen and members of the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral project have called for its immediate suspension and a financial audit. They are Archbishop Duncan Williams and Reverend Eastwood Anaba. They say their call is based on the controversy surrounding the project. They believe that the suspension will pave the way for transparency and accountability. And there's been a response from the Board of Trustees of the National Cathedral. And it's in today's finder. They say they have resolved to subject the project to normal statutory audit. They say they have engaged the services of audit firm Deloitte for the audit work to begin. Quote, the board is already in discussions to engage Deloitte, which accepted to be the auditors when the National Cathedral was registered, to commence the normal statutory audit. The board, through its chairman, Apostle Professor Opoku Onyina, said in a statement, and they say, in addition, the board submitted all relevant documentation on the project to Parliament in December 2022. Thus, if Parliament so desires, it may set up a commission or appoint an independent auditor to review all issues concerning the award of contract, procurement, construction works, and financial operations of the National Cathedral project. So there's a lot going on with that project. The Commission on Human Rights and Administrative Justice has also made the board a respondent in its investigation into the operations of the project, and the board will cooperate fully. Of course, the Honorable Ablakwa is
that charge?
Yes, yeah, he kind of blew the alarm on this issue. So those are the issues on the National Cathedral. Just before we go to what's in the papers today, a disaster involving 8 pupils on the Volta Lake. It's almost something that happens almost every year. The frightful waste of young lives. So 8 pupils from the Atika Gome community in the Sene East district of the Bono East region lost their lives on a boat they were traveling on to school capsized on the Volta Lake. The 8 were among 20 pupils who were traveling from Atika Gome to Wayukope when the incident occurred midway into the journey. Now, the Sene East director of the National Disaster Management Organization, NADMO, said the information about the tragedy came to them late. Mr. Wu Donyim said the incident happened when a small fishing community, in a small fishing community where the only school in the area is located. I am pretty sure that those canoes haven't seen life jackets since they were commissioned. And every year, you're going to have people just dying on their way to school. On their way to school, Kobe. On their way to school, man.
These are innocent children.
8 children.
So what if the children in the town demonstrate because their peers are being killed by somebody's lack of responsibility?
Yeah, like
I mean, for crying out loud, the boat, is it even seaworthy or lake worthy?
There were 20 on that canoe.
Or even lake worthy.
Yeah, 20.
Okay, all these things, as a country, we don't care. I told this story that
He just dropped into the water. And
in
died.
the United States, an old lady's cat will be on top of a tree. She will call an ambulance, a fire truck, and the fire truck will come and use its truck to go and get the cat for the old lady. We don't care about humans in Ghana. It's a fact. Look, I've lived here too long, and I've seen the way we do to ourselves. Okay, the question is this somebody's responsibility?
Yeah.
Accountability, zero.
I think NADMO should even ensure that people must have life jackets.
Guess what?
They can't tell us that they heard about it late. NADMO is saying, the NADMO director said they heard about the incident late.
Yeah, because the man was asleep.
When do they hear?
They told him in the middle of the night, so he was asleep.
Look, this particular issue, I remember doing a documentary on similar issues regarding late travel and so forth. Students, teachers, because there's sometimes a lack of qualified teachers in the area. They have to take a boat ride for 4 hours.
They are sacrificing their lives.
4 to 7 hours.
On the water.
On the water.
In and out.
Before they get to the schools that they have to go to teach. As serious as that. And once again, no lifeguard.
No jackets. No life jackets.
So these are things that are going to be with us, unfortunately, for a while. If
They shouldn't be with
And
us.
it's prevented
It
because you see,
shouldn't
you
be
will
with us.
float. You will float. The likelihood of you not
You
drowning.
float a little bit
you will
before.
float.
and you have overcrowding of the canoes
Yeah, so
as
those are
well.
the other issues.
You know, a whole host of issues, and no one should underestimate the currents on that Volta Lake.
Yeah.
The undercurrents are
Massive.
Massive.
Yeah.
I mean,
So let-
you should listen to
this country. When you say people would, and then the moment they have opportunity to travel outside, hey, Bruni, the way I deal, hey, the white man is wonderful. He's a human being. He's not a robot.
I remember, if I'm going to the next story, I remember years ago I was listening to one of the private radio stations, and I think an MP had gone to China and had come back. And they were interviewing him about his China experience. Charlie, the buildings are tall. Tall buildings, shiny buildings. Hey, they have transport system. And I'm thinking, wow, this MP went there and China blew his mind. And
There's a gentleman called Mr. Kwesi Boafo. Have you seen that he's in charge of the public sector reform? He was the one, he went to Rwanda, came back and told us all the wonderful things in Rwanda. I'm repeating what he said. He said in Rwanda, if you have a vehicle and you don't have insurance, you don't have driver's license, you don't have roadworthy, in the morning, if you turn the ignition, the car won't start because it's all linked into some data that checks the validity of all those things. Him, I've never been to Rwanda. He's the same guy who told us that in Rwanda, they don't eat grass cutter, akrantie. So he said,
for humanitarian reasons.
you know, but I guess they say they don't. They actually eat. What's it? Yeah, they are. Yeah, they don't. No, they don't. They eat. They say it's that they don't eat all those ones. The ones that we like.
Yeah.
You know. And the question I'm saying is, he went to Rwanda. He's in charge of public sector reform. He came and told us
What was happening there?
what has he done, or what has he been able to improve
Based on
as
his
a
experience.
public sector reform
Chap.
in charge of it. He takes our money, spends it, comes back, tells us this, and he can't do anything. And nobody asks him why.
the sad part that it's apparently a Ghanaian who's spearheading
things there.
the reforms that are happening in Rwanda.
Gentlemen,
So
3 minutes to 8 o'clock.
It's not for the lack of the capacity.
Yeah, it's just the will. I want to give you the summary of some of the headlines in the papers. This is an extensive what's on your mind this morning, but with very, very germane issues. So I'm glad that Kofi and Oscar were able to express their views. I'll give you a chance to express your views as well on our message board. But just quick run through of the headlines. Ghanaian Times, 10.4 million Ghana cedi procurement breach scandal. OSP drags NDA CEO and 3 others to court. Minority reshuffles front bench. Dr. Atu Forson replaces Haruna Idrisu. Agoja takes over from Muntaka. 3,000 Bongo residents set to gain employment under community mining scheme. There's a mining conversation in a couple of minutes on this show. There's a missing twin matter. 37 Military Hospital apologizes to the couple. They claim the scans were incorrect. Unbelievable. Africa wants IMF special drawing rights reallocated to finance development. And Chief of Staff says to SOEs, team up with AG's department to complete unaudited accounts by end of the year. The finder leads with IEA suggesting cuts to save 24 billion. Very interesting. I'll go through them annually During the lifespan of the domestic debt exchange program, government will raise local giants in small-scale mining industry, says Mr. Jinapor, Minister, and 4 to face prosecution over 10.4 million. Yeah, it's another story on the NDA scandal. That seems to be the big story.
Can you read the story at 37?
Yeah, I'll do that, definitely, because that one also caught my mind. So, page 14, today's Ghanaian Times. Teresa Military Hospital in Accra said the ultrasound scans conducted on a woman before delivery were error-ridden. According to the hospital, the error was detected after further inquisition into the case of the missing twin. So this is a disclosure that comes 5 days after Ghanaian Times investigative story published on January 18, 2023. The hospital has apologized to the couple and said the issue would serve as a wake-up call to the hospital, promising to release the results of the investigative report to the family this Friday. So this was the outcome of a meeting held on Monday with senior military officers, including the Chief of Staff at the Ghana General Headquarters, and the family of Daniel Nau, husband of the woman who was expecting twins. So you had a whole list of generals who came there. So let me give you a background to the story. So according to Dr. Ali Saini, a senior obstetrician and gynecologist at the Princeton Military Hospital who performed the cesarean section on that fateful day, the hospital expected twins as the scan had shown, but was surprised to see only one baby. He blamed the situation on a flawed diagnosis first conducted at the Serica Diagnostic Services in Accra that suggested that the woman carried 2 fetuses. They say it's an error. And we have pictures of the scan in the paper today by your Ghanaian Times. So the scan is supposed to have shown 2 fetuses, with one weighing 269 grams, another weighing 261 grams. They did 4 different scans, all showing. This is what the couple is saying. Mr. Japon said, we did 4 different scans, all showing I was carrying live twins. And it is baffling that one could disappear at birth.
No, when they say disappear, as if so, it was just a child.
She is just saying that she saw 4 scans, and there were twins in all 4 scans. The hospital is saying that there was a mistake.
Well, the scan made a mistake. I don't think the hospital made a mistake, because it would have been a different story if another child was found somewhere dead. Okay, but if it's just a child, these things, it happens. Scan, it could be, what's the thing that women get? Fibroid somewhere showing as if. So, yeah, I'm not going to.
But I still find this extremely strange. I mean, well, once you probably need a bit more details. But if you go and take a scan, even when you first think you're pregnant and you go and take a scan, and maybe 3 months after pregnancy, you take a scan, I'm sure you'd be able to see the fetuses there.
Now listen to the doctor.
The time of delivery and having a cesarean, that's 9 months have passed by.
Yeah.
So you have to she's done 4 scans. What was the timing between the scans? So we can have a more informed discussion on this, because it sounds a bit ridiculous.
And aren't there other backup ways of finding out? I mean, checking out for heartbeats, fetal heartbeats, and things like that.
Well, exactly.
So listen. So they are blaming this diagnostic service company for the mistake, but Ghanaian Times did a good job. They contacted the technical director and radiologist at Serica Diagnostic, Dr. Eric Otudankwa. He says he's alarmed at the contention of the 37 military hospital. We are not saying we are infallible, he quote, but in the best of our knowledge, we were diligent in our delivery. It's unfortunate they came to that conclusion. I have my contact numbers on the scan report in the possession of Mr. Japon, who's at the court. They could have called to cross-check if they had any doubts. And so this is what is happening.
People go for scans and they are told that they are going to have a boy. It turns out to be a girl.
It's still
they are going to have a girl. And I'm just I'm just saying. I'm not defending them.
Yeah.
All I'm saying is
6 to 8 months. Are you telling me that the scan cannot see?
You see,
how?
This is an electronic mistake.
Oh,
This is not a human mistake.
If you tell me,
Because
if you
it's a
tell,
scam.
if you tell me,
Yeah,
but the people
no,
have not
because
agreed that it's
if
a
you
mistake.
tell
They are not
me
gonna-
this,
no,
the
unless
scan
they don't
results,
believe that the woman delivered
Kofi.
twins and they can't find one, then we can look into it. But if the scan, and like I said, it does happen. Okay, but if she should
You
have
see, you are
two
finding
babies.
it hard.
I'm not finding it
you are
hard.
finding it hard.
All I'm trying to let you understand is if it's genuinely, or like unless there's like the story says a missing twin. If some twin is missing somewhere in somebody's house, that's another story. But if the scan made a mistake, the delivery confirmed that it was one baby, yes,
Listen,
she'll be disappointed.
A second scan was
She'll be
done
disappointed.
at 37. 37 also did a scan.
she'll
They
be
also did a
disappointed.
scan. And they said, and according to the doctor, the second scan done at 37 was also error-ridden. There was also errors in that scan.
That's what I'm
It's
trying
not just the Sarika that did a scan.
Yes.
37 also did a scan, and they
When
claimed there were also
when-
errors there.
When they say it's error-ridden, did they categorically say that there was a second baby there? That is the result of the
So
error?
let me read what the guarantee is. A second
error-ridden is
ultrasonic
broad.
scan done at 37 on July 21st, 2022, signed by so confirmed results of the earlier scan with twin A weighing 269 grams and B weighing 261 grams. And then the lady says, we did 4 different scans, all showing I was carrying live twins. And it is baffling that one could disappear at birth, says the mother. Explaining further, she said when her gestation period was 38 weeks, she was admitted to 37, where her vitals were taken with 2 fetal heartbeats confirmed as normal.
Can I ask a question? Me, when my son was delivered in another country, I was in the delivery room. I don't know whether they allow the husbands or family members to be in the delivery room when a lady is delivering.
Will faint.
No. I mean, I didn't think.
So you knew there was one baby coming out?
No, I was there. So
you
if
see.
it was 2 and 1 came, I would see that it's 1. If it's 2 and then later on somebody tried to tell me that 1 is missing, then I can say. I'm not trying to defend 37. The story is 2. Either way, there were 2 twins and somebody has taken 1, or like they said, the scan made a mistake and showed something else purported to be another twin, and then on the delivery day it was just a baby. I agree they should investigate.
It could even be that one of the babies passed on the moment of delivery.
No, but that's not what
But
they are
the
saying.
evidence of the baby will still be there.
No, that's not what they are saying. This is
They're
my
saying-
question.
yeah. But the woman is saying there were 2 fetal heartbeats.
On the scan monitor. Yes, when you go for what's it called?
Ultrasound.
But you
ultrasound.
yes, but you see the form of the baby. It's not just a heartbeat that you see.
You're not getting. I'm
Oh,
just
no,
saying
no,
that.
no, this is
I'm not
preposterous.
defending. We should do investigation,
It's
which is fine.
preposterous.
But the question is, mistakes like
happen.
that happens. Even the wrong leg is amputated, not just in Ghana, in other medical whatever. All I'm saying is, medically, mistakes do. Your wife is a doctor. Talk to her tonight. See if this can happen or not.
Let me go and check the messages. Thank you for the advice. 055556 1034.
But you see, Ghana, it's very difficult these days to believe anything. We've had cases of some people saying that they were pregnant and blah, blah, blah. blah.
Exactly, that Takrady woman.
Thank you.
And she wasn't pregnant.
Well,
I love your Monday, Wednesday, and Thursday segment. They are refreshing. But the Tuesday panel invariably raises my high blood pressure. Kudos to my friend Kofi and Oscar. This is the Wednesday panel, right? Don't watch the Tuesday one if your pressure is going up. Okay. Good morning. I knew I could count on Uncle Kofi to say something for the youth who are being frustrated by the leaders. Yes, what they did is something we shouldn't condone. But if nothing touches the palm front, it will not rattle. Our leaders are turning us to something even we don't like. God help us. Ghana first. Kasua. Somebody is throwing shades at the minority leadership. They've announced new leaders. You are likening them to the Chelsea Football Club. If Nanado cannot do a common reshuffling, then the opposition is showing how to do it. Great job that they have other duties to attend to. It is corruption. Listen to how the Zambia president is dealing with corruption in his country. All right. Children's unruly behavior versus leaders' illegal behavior. So the adults and the leaders don't have any moral right to question the children. It's corruption if we attempt to justify a wrong. When your head fails to function well, your whole body will misbehave. Leadership is our problem in Ghana. Come to Awishi, all the street lights are not working. But when it comes to election, then you see them fixing it. Yep. Nana Kojo. And you are here throwing plaudits to the MPP, to the NDC. You say it's a party where everybody works. Okay, Mahama, thank you very much. Good morning. Ofoso Hini, you are impressed by the composure and submission of the panel. Thank you so much. Schools should be constructed in such areas instead of students crossing the river to avoid such horrible death trends. No, and I think you just need to make things safer. If you have to cross a river or a lake, you must have your life jackets. I mean, there's no two ways about it. You must, you know. You think Ghana needs a leader like Paul Kagame of Rwanda or the late president of Tanzania, Magufuli. Kennedy Ajapong is so far the option for Michael Ashalaja. Be careful what you wish for. Good morning, fellow Ghanaians. I'm Ellie from Kaswa. Please, how, when, and where will Ghana develop in all things? We have to have the will and start the work, you know. You made this comment, but we couldn't read it. I should read it now. What I thought is happening in our high schools, these things were not happening before. What doctors should be asking is that, what are these students going through? What has changed in our school educational system? Something is wrong. This is not to approve these wrong deeds, but point out the question, what has changed lately? This question is very necessary to tackle or stop this high school misbehavior. Nanajua says, why are we the Form 3s coming home on 17th February? Nanajua, what school is this? We want to know. Why are you coming home? Maybe school is closed. I don't know. But let us know. February. Glad you are watching, Nanajua.
February.
Come back. Yes, February. Are you still doing tracks? Green, gold, and all the colors? Nana, let us know. Okay. All right. Al Hakim, you are back again. Kofi Owusu has spoken this morning to my satisfaction. His analysis does not mean he supports the children on them acting perniciously, but only voicing out the truth. May God bless you all with a hard work from Mother Ghana. I wish you arrange such brilliant people to educate us thrice every week. Thank you very much. Kudos to our producers. Good morning to you and your lovely panelists. You are lovely, lovely men. When was the last time somebody called you lovely, Oscar? When was the last time somebody called you lovely?
A man is fearful and ugly.
Ugly, eh? Kofi? Anybody call you lovely lately?
My wife is not here, so I can't tell.
Good morning to your lovely family. There's no way in the world that we can take truth to court. Thank you. Children, the future is bleak. Lawrence, Oscar, Gazy, your panelists have said it all. Do you know that the level of anger is directly proportional to the level of distraction if care is not taken? When there is no voice for the voiceless, anger that cannot be contained will break up here and there. What did the school authorities do to generate this? What promises were they given? Some of the schools have tyrannical heads. The students went far, but yes, the point is that they were pushed. Joseph Akwe, hey, what a word. Kofi Kapito's submission is oxymoronic. It's an oxymoron. How does he condemn the actions of the students at the same time justify it? He didn't justify it. No one says demonstrations are criminal, but the violence is what is condemnable. That's exactly what he said.
So,
yeah,
he's
so
been
I think come up again with the oxymoron, man.
He is oxymoron.
Oxymoron to oxymoron. Yeah, please pay for any political advertisements. Musa Abatwa, you are looking for those, pleading all party members in the North to use internal mechanisms to address grievances concerning changes in parliamentary leadership. Okay. Our leaders are failing in everything in this country and you don't want them to talk. Maoli Selassie, Chachu, Kwashi, Newtown. Aaron, you're looking at health issues and policies on health. You want a health policy that will give us an indication of a sound economy. Thank you so much. More messages, 055-556-1034. Kofi, this is strange, but it doesn't mean that there can't be mistakes. Did she deliver twin babies or was it just a scam? But to put it to Kofi, how do you know people into rituals? Do you know people into rituals buy babies' blood from nurses or doctors in hospitals?
That's what I'm saying.
There's a public confession from one guy who went in for money rituals. He added that the money that is offered is hard to turn down. I strongly disagree with Uncle Capito. The twin saga has to be looked at critically. 2 heartbeats, 1 baby is a wild contradiction. As Thelma says, when she sees photos, she's afraid. She doesn't know what's going to come up, so I'll run away from the photo. I'm disappointed and dissatisfied with the defense Capito is putting up for the 37 military hospital. This is historic. How can 2 become 1? You're comparing to the amputation of the wrong leg. Please, if you can You don't want us to put more pain to the couple, yo. No, we're just expressing and it is not our intention to cause further distress
Absolutely
to the couple.
not.
It's on the front page of the national newspaper, and it's now public debate. All right. Your panelists have said it all. Our leaders don't care about the citizens. Innocent children on their way to school in a boat, only school in the community. You don't feel proud to be a Ghanaian. The wickedness is too much. We've just got to just do the right thing. How much is a life jacket? Come on. And you don't take it home with you. The life jacket to stay in the canoe.
It's in the boat.
so just buy it, and it's once and for all.
There is a lake authority, isn't there?
Yes.
And they ought to be policing.
Yeah. You don't take the life jacket home.
We have marine police. Are you aware of that?
Yes. Yes. Good morning to all of you. Captain from Nkwanta Oti. Good morning to you too, sir. NDC parliamentary reshuffle on my mind. Although I'm a strong MPP party member, I support their idea of reshuffling. The NDC party, they don't entertain non-performing members. Like your party, which is the MPP, says Jonah Ekpemka from Pipira Tempani. I love the sound of that. Pipira Tempani. Good morning, GTV Breakfast. This is where our dear mother has gone to. How can a whole hospital do this? Well, they say that the scans were faulty. But hey, others are also thinking that there needs to be more investigation. Good morning, BFS. Can you tell Mr. Kofi Kapito that no matter the reason behind the demonstration, students had no basis to destroy the same facilities which house and protect them? That's not what his argument was. He's not. Say it in your own words, Kofi.
Well, no, what I said was what the students did. No, like I said, demonstrations goes on in schools all the time, but you don't destroy property. You have the right to demonstrate, but you don't have the right to destroy anything. It's as simple as that.
All right. God made man, man made machines. That's a very cryptic message. Master Lee, come again. Calves. Trisha says she stopped watching our Tuesday panel. Why do you keep bringing the lawyer? He's up. You don't have to agree with everybody we have here. Trisha, please. We beg you. People also love him. Oxymoron is not an insult. Kofi, please, we beg you. How can all the 4 scans be 40? Even the 137 took. Something is wrong here. Yeah. Good morning, GTV Breakfast. Desiree from Côte d'Ivoire. Bonjour, Desiree. Comment ça va? With love from us to you in Côte d'Ivoire. Watching us in Côte d'Ivoire, that's great. The missing twin saga needs to be carefully analyzed. 21st century scans hardly make mistakes. Are you sure? Around 36 weeks of gestation. I have twins too, so I know what I'm talking about. Okay, this is experience. Students misconducting themselves in Kumasi. The study of civics in school is intended to help children to become upright and useful members of the country. Alhaji Dawuda. How does education develop in Ghana when a vice president promises to buy tablets for students instead of promising schools? My cousin had 7 different scans. She purposed to have twins. She finally had triplets. Anything is possible. So this is addition. It's the subtraction that we are really not worrying about. You got a plus. Yeah. Well, thank you so much for your messages. There's a conversation on mining pretty soon, but quickly, your quick thoughts before we go. What's the whole brouhaha about the NDC's parliamentary reshuffle?
Personally, I don't think it's worth commenting on.
That's
their own internal issues. I don't get impressed by NDC or MPP. We need a third force.
Okay.
With the right kind of leadership that will really move this country out of the doldrums. After all, NDC, they took us to IMF. I don't see, they are the same, it looks like they are the same two, but same different color. They took us to IMF. And even that one, they didn't have COVID, and nor did they have any of those factors. So when I listen to them, I just look at them quietly like this.
People seem to be excited about it.
You know, politically, I think it's a good thing that they did that. Will it help the economy?
What is good? No, what is good about it? What is the analysis of the good?
Because you see,
what is good about it?
You see, that means within the NDC party, they are trying to show that the party is in charge. I get to my point. Because political parties in Ghana, most of the time, is the leadership that thinks they are in charge. But the party should even decide who should even run as a presidential candidate. In other jurisdictions, they have what is called maybe the kingmakers. Even among the two parties, they can sit there and say, okay, fine, my candidate, so let's push for yours. This backroom,
is this not normal?
This
So the party is
Nothing
accepting
radical has
part-
been done.
No, I'm not saying it's radical. All I'm saying is
normal.
You think it's normal?
they've done something. I don't know whether
Why
the
are
rank
they
and file
making something
of
out
the
of this?
party will be happy. I'm not a member. So, I mean, but my party, we've been calling for reshuffle
Of the ministers or
with everybody. I getting my point. But the
Why is it not
question
happening, Kofi? Why is it not happening?
That is why people might feel, and I'm not an NDC
See,
person.
we are now juxtaposing,
I'm
reshuffling
not
to
an
the
NDC. No, but the question is,
Two
you
different
can't run the
things.
country for 6 years for crying out loud.
That's a different
No,
conversation.
but you are talking about the same conversation.
Yeah,
yeah.
So
So
you are talking about NDC doing it and it doesn't
No,
phase you.
Oscar, let me hear what
You are
Capital has to
talking
say.
about NDC doing something
You
that,
come.
that it doesn't phase you.
Yes,
And,
and now
I'm
you-
telling you something that they've done
Is this
that
new?
it phases me.
Yeah.
Are you getting my
So you
point?
want a reshuffle?
Look, at least one person, okay, it's a feel good attitude. Okay,
Who should go?
I don't know. I'm not the president that appoints. The president that appoints can also fire. Okay, if I had my way,
Yes.
I'll fire about 80% of them. But I don't have the power.
Who would you keep?
He does. No, I'm just saying that he does. So I'll leave it up to him for him to do that.
All right.
I didn't appoint.
Okay.
Okay, it's a different thing if they were elected.
Yeah.
Then I can say, come election time, I will have the power
deal with
to
you.
change somebody. All I'm saying is, politics is dynamic. You see, and it's for the people.
All right.
I get to my point. That's why they say all politics is local. Okay, even when a local jurisdiction demands something that is out of the main picture, you need to pay attention to it.
All right.
My issue is this.
Quickly.
What is the process for this parliamentary change? Of course, they'll have inter-party talks about it, intra-party talks about it. But at the end of the day, it's a parliamentary caucus. It's not somebody who comes to impose anything on it. They sat down together and decided to make this change. If you had told me that, it was a coup d'etat, sort of, some machinations or something, but this one is normal process. After all, weren't we all praising NPP when the 80 MPs demanded and, threatened for the change of the finance minister?
Did they get their wish?
They didn't get their wish, but they did something that was not within the normal scheme of things. So we looked at it from that perspective.
And you,
what
if
changes
you do
this?
that and you cannot get to the end,
You haven't done nothing.
You haven't done anything. At least, listen.
But you have to start from somewhere.
No, start from somewhere.
result
And then
didn't get
start
there.
from somewhere and don't get anywhere. I'm just saying. Look, it is good. The democracy somehow is now growing. I'm not saying that it is anything special.
Yeah.
But at least, look. Do you know the wrangles that is going on in NDC now?
We'll get one of them.
I'm just,
Only NDC.
Yeah, no, I'm talking about even with this
There's a lot of heat.
change.
Yeah.
But of course.
I'm just saying, somebody will not be happy.
Of course.
Somebody is happy.
Yeah.
That is what it is.
But we're not
But
talking
if the
about
masses-
people's happiness. It
But
has nothing to do with it.
if you belong to a group, a majority is happy when you do something. Which one would you go for? Would you go for the ones that people will not be happy, which is less and less amount?
Have they given you the figures
No,
for,
I'm
the,
just
for,
saying.
for the for the voting
That's why
that
I
took
said
place?
No, I don't know whether they voted. All I know is they say the Sheikh Dunketia has written to the speaker saying that this is what the party
Once.
has decided.
Yeah.
I'm not an NDC. I can't say anything that they did, but I'm just telling you what I'm reading.
All right.
And all I'm saying is, I wish.
Is it a big
It
deal?
happened in your body.
I think he's a sympathizer of MPP.
No.
Because
I'm
that-
saying,
I'm not
is
saying
this,
NPP.
is this
I
a
say I
big
think
deal?
you're a sympathizer.
I mean, it's not a
What
big
I'm
deal
saying
to
is,
waste
look,
time on this.
it's not, no. You see, in politics,
deal.
you need to listen to the people.
Which people?
The people that voted for you to come into power. The people that gave you their thumbs.
That is that is a different conversation. Now you're
but
mixing
I'm
issues.
not mixing. I'm
That's
trying
a
to let you
different issue.
understand that you are
We're
telling-
juxtaposing this
You're not juxtaposing.
and putting it on
All
a
I'm saying
reshuffle.
is-
We all want a reshuffle. Trust me. We all want a reshuffle. The voice of the people have spoken for
So
it.
which voice of people? It's 80-something percent. Is that the voice of the
So,
people?
so that is a different
No, I'm
conversation.
just telling you. So when you say
I
the voice
stay
of the
within the
people,
context of
Versus some of the people.
no, I'm
what
just
is this big
saying.
deal?
All I want you to understand is, look, in governance, this thing should happen.
All right.
Okay.
Let's draw a
So
line on that.
somebody might even be the best.
Yeah.
But look, is it New Zealand?
Yeah, the lady resigned.
She said, I don't have anything to offer.
That's it. That's it, gentlemen. We have everything we've had to offer here. Before I
don't
just
see
go,
the big deal
just a
in that.
minute,
There's
just to
nothing-
tell
no-
you
no big
that
deal.
the Institute of Economic Affairs, today's finder, has suggested cuts to government expenditure that would total, by their calculations, 24 billion CDs every year. And some of the cuts include 30% cut in infrastructure budget, which will save the nation between 3.4 and 4.9 billion. Cut in goods and services budget, which they believe will save between 2.6 and 6.1 billion each year. Slash the Energy Sector Levy Act transfers, which will save between 1 and 2.7 billion every year. Review the flagship programs. Cut free SHS expenditure by 30%, which they think will save between 3 and 4.6 billion. Cut the staff of Office of Government Machinery, which has 1,500 people working in the government machinery. Cut it by 50%, and it will save the nation about 500 million CDs every year. Reduce the ministries to just 16. Reduce the number of ministers and deputy ministers to 16 each. Scrap regional ministers. Scrap the National Cathedral Project. And IEA, when they do all the mathematics on their big IEA calculator, it will come up to 24 billion CDs a year.
How much is that in dollars?
What is the? It depends on the rate.
Let's say
Let's say it's 10 now.
10 cities.
10,
We are talking about
2.4.
2.4 billion.
Isn't
year.
wouldn't they put us closer to
The money that we want from the IMF.
Yes.
Exactly what the point they're making. That's exactly the point they're making.
No, it's actually a brilliant proposal.
Exactly the point they're
And we
making.
know this, so
Yeah.
not that we don't do. We know, but you're not doing anything.
Exactly.
That's the
Absolutely.
problem. And especially cutting down the size of government.
1,500 people, man.
It's not even there. It's not
And
even,
they're talking about salaries and allowances
Of course.
and other
Because if
perks
you cut
and
the
benefits
1,500,
as
then
well.
you're saving that.
I went on a USID page program for Ghana. When we were going, the leaders, no, actually there was a call that came in from the State Department that says that per the State Department rules, no government official travels business class.
Mm-hmm.
The Ghanaian top men were angry.
Why?
They say, oh, they won't go. They can't go to India on a business on an economy ticket.
No, they should stay
When we got to the airport, the next day, they had business class. They went to a ministry. The ministry bought them business class. When we got to India, we found out that breakfast and lunch was included. So they only gave you dinner, money. It was $48 per person. Come and see them.
They rejected
This
that
is
one.
preposterous. They wasted their time if they are in Ghana. But the man, you are going to borrow $500 and something million from him. He doesn't travel business class.
And then you want business class.
Jesus Christ, we should stop this.
Our business is over. You've been very classy, gentlemen. Kofi Capito, Oscar Provençal, my guests on Headlines. I wish you the very best.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Kofi, be careful where you go and take your scan.
And the CEO of the Minerals Commission is coming up next, Mr. Martin K. You see, he sits down with Tama to look at issues that are very, very important. Time with Minerals Commission, looking at the 5th edition of the local content and local participation in the procurement of goods and services in the mining industry. Nananum 2003, celebrating 20th anniversary. Breakfast with Miss Universe Ghana and Gracia. And your messages on 055-556-1034. It's 8:28. We'll be back after this break.